So we're here today. Sunday is registration day and scrutineering, and we've talked. Get out of it! So throughout the week we've talked about how we always seem to be in a rush to do things, and today, Sunday, is scrutineering day here at Drag Week, and this is a perfect example of what we're talking about. So scrutineering officially starts at 8 o'clock this morning, and if you turn up at 8 o'clock, you're going to be at the back of an enormously long line. So we were out the door at, what, 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Well, we're here at the track at 4 o'clock.
No,
So
4:40.
Yeah, 4:40. So we were probably sixth in the line, and what that meant is, as soon as the gates opened, we rocked around, did our paperwork, and we were through scrutineering in 25 minutes. Try and get ahead a bit, maybe go and have a sleep this afternoon. It's been a big week. Make sure the car's perfect. The track opens at 12 o'clock here today. So just by being ahead, you've got the opportunity of testing your car, getting everything sorted, having a cruisy afternoon. If you get here late, you're going to be standing out there in the sun beside that car, pushing it 1 foot at a time over a period of 8 to 10 hours.
Pretty much been in storage at my buddy Dustin's house. We went to TKM, Kevin Mullins, is this week because it was closer to here. We got it shipped to there. They've let us use their workshop, and we've just gone over the car, serviced it. Well, we've just got a misfire at the moment, which we're chasing down, which we think is a coil maybe. So we'll just get through tech and get that sorted. Plasma Man and Turbo Smart have given us a few new parts and some new clamps because we were blowing the boost lines and that off last year. So we've got them on, they're working good. To have more fun than everybody else, same as every other year. So we should be good. I don't know. You know what it's like. It's fine on the road, and on when it's race day, it always throws us little curveballs, but it's all part of the fun. We'll be good.
Last year, as you're probably aware, Dan Nissen built the car to auction it off, with the proceeds going to Scotty Taylor's young fella to help him out. And Harry Hall was generous enough to buy it, minus engine and trans. And he put a deal forward to me that if I could build an engine for it, he'd supply the trans and the car, and I could go racing Drag Week. There was a bit of a hiccup with customs, so the engine wasn't released.
Engine didn't get out, it was stuck with the other guys' cars in the container, so we've been sitting there every day waiting for the phone call. It never happened, so I said if we haven't got one by lunchtime Friday, we'll get a dunger and put in it. So we found a 396 of one of the Drag Weeker guys I'm not sure if we're buying it or lending it, he won't tell us, so we've been thrashing all Friday night to get that all in.
It's got a bit of a cam. We've got a loaner 750 double pumper from Dustin at TKM. We've got a loaner distributor. We put some leads on it, a bit of oil in it, and here we are. If it runs in the 15s, I suppose we'll be going all right.
I shipped it back after Drag Week last year and got it back in January, and did a bit of racing at Perth at Kwinana, and then went through the car and then shipped it about 3 months ago back here. The Drag Week again, it's the 7th time. Try and have some fun. That's about it. I'll see how I go, just see how I feel when I do the first couple of passes, and I'll go from there. I don't really want to have to work on it too much, so I just want to have fun, so I'll just see how I go.
I live here 6 months of the year. I towed this over from California, left on Monday, picked Brenton up at Dallas, at DFW on Wednesday, and continue out to here. So this is the car I've been building for about the last 12 months. So I bought a decent 6-cylinder car out of Arizona and then took the body off. So hopefully we'll be running 10s. It should make about 680 horsepower. It's a 540, 10 to 1, rare Morrison short motor, and I bought my AFR heads over from Australia, put them on. Well, we've been doing this for a few years. I've been doing it in my orange 69 Camaro since 2014. Brenton drove it in 2016 when we started in Hebron in Ohio. I like driving on the the road in something like this more than I enjoy driving down the track, actually. So that's what I like. I like the social side of it. It's good that a lot of Aussies are coming over now. As I say, I haven't bought a car over. I've always built a car here for drag week. Yeah, if we finish, that'll be absolute. I'll be over the moon. You know.
Yeah, and then the car's probably got 5 or 10 kilometres on it. So whole new drivetrain. So
it's all brand spanking new. Strange rear end, Mike's transmission, brand new gear vendor, and that motor had never driven until we got here. Brenton drove it up the street yesterday.
Drag week dream, I guess, has always been sort of something in the back of my mind. It's kind of been a thing that I've watched on social media for 4 or 5 years, I guess. A few guys are like, oh, you should do a dry run first, go and check it out. But I'm like, if we're going to come this far and commit to the event, I'm like, we're just going to go all out. The car we brought to drag week this year is a 1987 Toyota CRESTA. It started life out as a naturally aspirated 2-litre, but we've now fitted an Australian Ford inline 6, also known as a Barra. It makes 740 horsepower at the tyres. We've done a best of 9-1 in Sydney. That was 3 days before we actually put in the container to send it over here. We've only had one test day. We've only done about 7 passes on it so far. Yeah, the goal for drag week is just to finish. It's, to me, it's not always about the quickest time, and it's like, the way I've tried to explain this event to people is it's an endurance drag race. So the car's got to be capable of completing the whole distance, as well as just doing, like, not any car, but there's a lot more cars that can run 6, 7, 8, 9 second passes, but how many of them go down the motorway at 90 mile an hour with a U-Haul? So far so good with initial testing. We've already done 300 miles with the trailer, so it's a good little learning curve before the event kicks off.
Yeah, well, we got in pretty early this morning, and we were probably about the 4th or 5th car to go through scrutineer, and then when we did finally go into scrutineer, and we were entered in Super Street small block power adder, but as it turned out, we got shifted back to street race small block power adder, which is the 850 index. They don't like anybody racing up classes, because potentially you could go in unlimited and all you have to do is finish and pick up a place. So they deter people from doing that, getting the racing in the bracket they're appropriately suited for. We knew the engine had a problem with one of the lifters, and we decided to run the gauntlet and you know roll the dice, and we went out there and it wasn't going too well, and we knew we broke a lifter. So we raced it back up here, back up to the workshop, and Kevin now, we're pulling the manifold off. We've got some lifters coming. The camshaft's got a bit of damage on it, but we're going to have to roll with it. So we'll have spare lifters, but we're not going to make power, but the engine's not going to make power anyway. So the whole idea of it now is to run okay and have a good time and finish.
So for drag week this year, we teamed up with Noonan. Johnny Lindberg and myself have got a water-jacketed billet Hemi for this thing with a screw blower, 3-disc clutch, and a Lenco transmission. Johnny actually came up with a pretty good idea over a few beers one night. We actually took the burst panel off the front of the intake manifold and we bolted a throttle body in that place. So going down the road, the thing will run on the regular Holley EFI system. Without the supercharger on there, the blower won't be turning over. So literally all we have to do after we race the car is bolt on this throttle body adapter and change the throttle cable over to the new 105mm Holley throttle body and drive down the road on E85. Our goal for the week is really just to do probably 3 days. Both Johnny Lindberg and myself have to go to Reading, Pennsylvania this next weekend and race in the NHRA series, which we're fortunate enough to do, but of course we're not going to be able to do the entire 5 days of drag week. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I really want to finish drag week one of these years, but nonetheless we're going to have fun for a few days, and then we've got to get back to our regular job.